Hello and welcome, I'm your Code Monkey. So do you know what exactly is the number one rule in game marketing? This is actually something very important that a lot of people, a lot of beginners don't actually know, or rather, specifically when they start learning about just how important marketing is, they learn that part about how important marketing is, but they forget this number one rule. So if you are a beginner, make sure you do know about this one. So like I wrote here, so nowadays there are tons of awesome games coming out all the time, which means that the biggest challenge to making a successful game isn't necessarily making the game part, but rather reaching players that would enjoy your game. At a glance, you can really just go on Steam, you can browse the new release list, and you'll see how on basically every single day, you've got at least one, maybe 2 or 3 games that are really good. So every single week, you've got something like 20, 30 games that are really good. Not to mention all the other hundreds of games that don't really get found, they don't really find an audience. So marketing is insanely important nowadays. However, that does not mean marketing is all that matters and the game does not matter. That is wrong. Marketing is just a multiplier, and if you multiply 100 by 0, you still end up with 0. So here is rule number 1 of game marketing: have a marketable game. Now again, this might seem obvious when I say it, but like I said, many beginners do seem to forget this fact. They seem to think that marketing is all that matters, so as long as I do a bunch of marketing, as long as I do devlogs, post about the game all the time, as long as I do that, then I'm doing the right thing. But if you do that and you ignore the number 1 rule, then none of those efforts will really have any results. The core thing is really what I wrote here, so marketing is just a multiplier. So marketing is awesome, it is insanely important, but it really just acts as a multiplier on your base game. So if your base game is worth basically 0, even if the multiplier is massive, the final outcome will be 0. Whereas if your game is actually decent, so if it is decent and you apply some kind of multiplier, that is how you reach actual success. And the reason why I wrote about this is because one dev found this out the hard way. So in a post on Reddit, this developer decided to spend $500 on Reddit ads to try to get wishlists to try to have a successful game. However, the posts and replies from the original poster clearly indicate they are missing the number 1 rule of game marketing. They think the issue is marketing, when the reality is the issue is the game itself. So here the developer wrote, "We tried paid ads on Reddit for our indie game and it went terribly." And here this post actually has quite a lot of nice detail, but the end result is that developers spent $500. So they spent 500 euros and they got a total of 16 wishlists. And the developer over here writes about how the potential problems was casting a very wide net and how sticking to specific subreddits would have been better, talking about bid strategy and so on. So talking about these tiny details, which on some marketing campaigns, those tiny details, they do matter. But again, like I said, it's all really just a multiplier. So if your marketing efforts are not working, or if your marketing is being quite a bit more difficult than you anticipated, then the most important thing you should check is really just the game itself. And here's the game in that post. And at a glance, you can probably tell what exactly is going on, why exactly did this reach those results. Like I wrote here, so breakout style games do not do well nowadays. It is not a marketable game at all, no matter how many features or how many mechanics it has. That is simply just reality. Again, it goes back to the fact that there are so many games on Steam, and so many of those games are really awesome, that basically the minimum quality bar, that is already super high. And if you are basically anywhere below that bar, then no amount of marketing is basically going to save your game. For example, if you make a Flappy Bird game, a Flappy Bird clone, do you think that would find success even if you had the best market in the world? The answer is no, not really, because it is very much not a marketable game. And over here for this one, I'm sorry to say that really it is the exact same thing. A breakout game is really not something that Steam players will find appealing. Now, like I wrote here, so I can definitely empathize with this developer, since it's hard to see the flaws in your own games that you worked so hard on, but for me as an external observer, I can tell you instantly, as soon as I saw the Steam page, that no amount of clever marketing will make this game a success. That might sound harsh, but sadly, it's the honest truth. And yeah, honestly, that is something that really breaks my heart whenever I go on Reddit and read some kind of postmortem of some developer saying, "Oh, we worked on our game for 8 years and we're about to launch," and then I open the Steam page and I see something that clearly does not reach that minimum bar of quality. That is very sad, but again, that really is the reality of the situation. There are so many awesome games coming out every single day that if you want to find success, you don't really just need to make a game, you need to actually make a game that people actually want to play. I wrote how the dev has clearly read up on marketing since they use actual real numbers to justify their decisions. Based on the assumption that they could get one wishlist for $1 like some other games, they decided on a price point of $15, which would net about $7, ending up spending about $20 to get a sale, and if that were the case, it would be a reasonable marketing spend. So here on the write-up, this developer clearly did do some studying. Clearly this is not someone just putting a game on Steam and wondering why it failed. No, they're clearly trying to find success. But again, it goes back to the whole point behind this video. Remember how marketing is really just a multiplier. So over here, talking about another really good write-up on using Reddit ads, and how one specific game managed to get wishlist for a little over $1. And then making some math, so pricing the game at $15, then with the assumption that most copies won't be sold at a discount, which is definitely true. And then of course taking away Steam's cut, which would leave with some rough net amount. And then assuming a reasonable wishlist conversion of about 5%, which usually that number is actually lower. Usually, at least on launch, you can expect about 20% on average. But still, it's always better to be more conservative with your numbers. So we're here at $1 per wishlist, that's $20 per customer. So best case, we'd spend 17 euros to make 6 euros. But yep, this one, if this is the case, then this is actually pretty reasonable. Now, some of you might be thinking, okay, this makes no sense because 6 euros is clearly much less than 17 euros. So even with these numbers, technically you are losing money, which it is true, but just remember how Steam and the Steam algorithm is basically just a snowball. And your job as a developer is basically to kickstart that snowball, and basically when it starts rolling downhill, after a while it will basically move by itself. But you as a developer, you have to kickstart it at first. So even though these numbers over here, even though these are negative, it can be worth it as sort of a loss leader attempt to spend a bunch of money that you know will have a negative ROI, to then kickstart the algorithm, and then through organic sales you will actually make a profit. So if these numbers are accurate, then this kind of marketing spend would make sense. But again, that's a big assumption. If these numbers are accurate, which in this case very much they are not. Again, goes back to the same thing, a multiplier on the actual game itself. And if the game is bad, then your wishlist will not convert, and these numbers will not be correct. And basically, however, as soon as dev put the plan into action, they saw how terrible the ads converted. Those $500 only got 16 wish lists, which based on the same conversion math, would be $700 per customer, not $20, which obviously is not sustainable at all. So again, this math of making wish lists as kind of a loss leader to basically kickstart the algorithm, that math can work, obviously, up to a point. If you're losing $11 for each sale, then you can still sort of make that up using organic sales. But if the gap is literally hundreds of euros, then that's a clear sign that nope, that strategy will not work out. And then the dev thought and still thinks that the issue is marketing when really it's the game itself. Which yeah, based on these numbers, you can already see that the issue is with the game itself. If it is costing you $700 to acquire a customer for a normal game, clearly that means the game is not quite as marketable as you think it is. And basically no amount of tweaking, no amount of clever marketing tricks is going to make this number be quite a bit more realistic. It's not one of those things where you're only 10% off. If you're like 1,000% off, then that's a clear indicator that it's the underlying thing, the thing behind marketing that is not converting with people as opposed to being the marketing itself. Nowadays, making a breakout clone is not a marketable idea, unless of course you have a super clever, super unique twist, and you absolutely cannot sell that for anywhere close to $15. Again, I'm really sorry if this whole video sounds a little bit harsh to this one specific developer, but again, I can really empathize with this. When you are making your own game, especially if you're making your own game for months or years on end, you can definitely become blind to how exactly other people will see your game. If it's something you've worked on very hard, then you yourself believe, okay, this has quite a lot of value, but remember how the people that are actually going to play your game, that's the one who actually matters how much they value your game, not how much you yourself value it. And for the average Steam player nowadays, with so many awesome games they have at their disposal, a breakout loan is really not going to find success. So this one, even if it's free, you would have trouble getting people to try them out. Because again, remember how players' most limited resource is not really money, it is really time. And if you've got hundreds of 10 out of 10 games that you can play, why would you play a game that clearly is not quite that enticing? Even if it is free, it is still difficult to find players for your game. So my lesson to you is this. If you are making games with commercial intent, and basically there are no rules if you're making games just for fun, this is one caveat that I always need to say whenever I make these kinds of videos talking about success. If you're making games just for fun, just as a hobby, then there are no rules. You can do whatever you want. You can put a Flappy Bird clone on Steam, doesn't matter. If you're making it just for fun, just as a hobby, then do whatever you want, there are no rules. But if you do want to find commercial success, if so, then of course marketing is very important, and finding a good marketable idea, that becomes even more important. So that's what I wrote here. If you want to find commercial success, then you need to pay very close attention to the idea that you pick. Marketing is extremely important, but remember how it's just a multiplier. The best marketing in the world will not save an unmarketable idea. This really is the core of it. If you want to make a successful game, then you need good marketing, and you need that good marketing to be applied to an actual good game. And then here is an excellent video talking about the importance of marketable game ideas from the developer behind the successful Get to Work. And if this video over here is really excellent, this one is made by Isto Inc. It is talking about the idea iceberg, and it's basically talking about everything that I'm talking in this video, which is just how important the idea is. And if you have a good idea, it is going to be so much easier to do marketing, and if you have a bad idea, then doing marketing is basically going to be impossible. So if your goal is to make successful games, it all starts with this. It all starts with having a good marketable idea. And yeah, again, on this whole video, I'm sorry if it sounds like a downer, like I wrote here. I really hope what I'm writing here doesn't come across as super harsh. Like I said, it's really just reality. This developer is clearly studying up on marketing, and the game looks competently well made. So if they apply their skills to a more marketable game idea, then I'm sure in the long run they will find success. And yep, clearly this one seems to be well made. In a technical term, this seems to be pretty competent. And many times what defines either success or failure of a certain game is not really the skills of the developer behind them, but rather applying those skills to the right thing. You can take the best developer in the world, but if you make them do a Flappy Bird clone, it will not find success. But if you take that same best developer with those same skills, and they actually work on a game that people actually want to play, then that same developer will find obviously quite a lot more success. So yep, if this developer, if they apply their own skills to a more marketable game idea in the future, then I'm sure they will find quite a lot more success. And if you want to learn the technical aspect of making games, check out my free complete courses. If you want to learn the super valuable C# language itself, then check out my free C# course. It covers everything from the language from beginner to advanced. Or if you prefer learning how to make a game itself, you can watch my free Catch and Chaos course. That one will teach you how to make a really awesome 3D game. Or alternatively, I just recently released my free Lunar Lander 2D course. So this is a great beginner 2D course. Alternatively, for multiplayer, you can check out my free course on making a simple multiplayer game. Or if you're more advanced, then check out my Dots course. This is definitely very advanced stuff, but if you are an intermediate user, then Dots is an insanely powerful tool that I really think you should know. So yep, check out all of those with a link in the description. Oh, and for my special problem-solving course, for this one, the special bonuses I'm running only until the end of this month. This includes the one-on-one, 1-hour live consultation with me. After the end of the month, I will remove these bonuses. So if you want these, then get the course before the end of the month. Or if you don't want them, then wait until January. I will remove these bonuses and lower the price of the course. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.